Have you ever felt like you were screaming into the void? You put your whole heart and soul into everything you do, but no one seems to notice or care. This is something that way too many of us feel all too well. It's a quiet battle that can be heard in the empty spots of our busy lives. What if I told you that this isn't the end of your story and that being ignored isn't your fate? Today, we're going to learn how to become memorable, how to become someone who stands out in a crowd instead of just blending in. Not just feel-good stuff, we're talking about real steps that can be taken. This video is for you if you feel like no one notices you in your personal life or when you're not respected at work. It's also good for people who just want to improve their relationships. Let's go on this journey together if you stick with me. Trust me, by the end, you'll not only feel seen, but also know how to make sure you're never forgotten again. 1. Turn into mysterious. Not giving out information or being secretive isn't what it means to be mysterious. It means slowly showing others the different sides of your personality and life. Marcus Aurelius said, "He who does not know what the world is, does not know where he is." This shows how interesting the unknown can be. People can learn more about you and get to know you better when you don't tell them everything about yourself all at once. Seneca said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without worrying about the future." If you want to be mysterious, this means that, when you talk to other people, focus on the present moment instead of telling them everything about your past or your plans for the future. In a controlled way, share your stories and experiences. This will make your relationships better. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak, Epictetus said. This is a very important lesson. By talking less and listening more, you create a mystery that makes people more open and honest, while you share only parts of your life. This beautiful quote, "Silence is the language of God, all else is poor translation," will help you remember how powerful silence can be in your talks. The more meaning you put into stops and silences, the more powerful the words you speak will be. To become mysterious, Hafiz said, "Stay close to anything that makes you glad you are alive." This means to be patient and enjoy the process of someone slowly learning what makes you special and valuable. A motivating speaker named Jim Rohn once said, "Don't join an easy crowd, you won't grow. Go where the expectations and the demands to perform are high." This could mean that you shouldn't be too open or simple to figure out. Put yourself in situations where people will value and want your depth and complexity. Self-help author Brian Tracy said, "Communication is a skill that you can learn. It's like writing a basic or typing. If you're willing to work at it, you can quickly improve the quality of every part of your life. This includes how you tell your story and talk about your experiences. What you share isn't the only thing that makes you mysterious. How and when you share it is too." To sum up, becoming mysterious involves slowly revealing more about yourself, listening more than talking, accepting silence, being patient, and sharing your stories and experiences in a planned way. People will be more interested in getting to know you and being a part of your life if you do this. This way of doing things not only makes you more interesting, but it also makes your interactions better and deeper. 2. Make people afraid of losing you. Seeing and showing your own value is at the heart of making someone afraid of losing you. According to Marcus Aurelius, you have power over your mind, not over outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This helps you believe in your own worth. When you know and value yourself, other people will too. The words of Seneca, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality," tell us that the thought of being alone or not being liked is often scarier than actually being that way. Being independent and able to rely on yourself will make you more beautiful because it will show that you are not in their life because they have to, but because they want you to be. In relationships, This means showing that your mental health doesn't depend on other people. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. People find this kind of emotional strength beautiful, and it can make other people feel a strong but mild fear of losing someone. The quote, "You were born with wings, why prefer to crawl through life?" tells you to live a life that makes you happy on its own. People are more afraid of losing such a lively presence when they see you flying high, driven by your interests and dreams. Aesop says, "Your presence can give happiness. Know that your unique presence makes other people happy and gives them value. People will want to keep you in their lives if you can take care of yourself and enjoy being alone." "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with," said Jim Rohn. This shows how important it is to choose who you spend time with. People will be afraid to lose you as a good force in their lives if you constantly show that you are changing and growing. If you want to change the way you deal with other people, remember what Brian Tracy said. The way you carry yourself speaks volumes about how you view life. Show how valuable you are not only with words, but also with your decisions and deeds. Show that you are independent and able to handle your own life by the way you live it. To sum up, making someone afraid of losing you is about accepting yourself, being emotionally independent, and living a life that other people find inspiring and admirable. It has to do with being a real person whose loss would be felt in a big way. People naturally see your worth and irreplaceability because you are self-sufficient, emotionally strong, and show yourself in a certain way. Third, make your own happiness. Marcus Aurelius talked about how happiness comes from within. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. This means that happiness comes from within, not from outside events. A big part of making your own happiness is thinking happy, helpful thoughts. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, said Seneca. This reminds us to find joy in the present. It's about enjoying the present and not always looking for happiness in things you'll achieve in the future or approval from other people. It is said by Epictetus, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." This is a very important thing to remember if you want to be happy. It means picking a positive, aggressive reaction to whatever life throws at you instead of letting outside events shape you. Yesterday I was smart, so I wanted to change the world. Today I'm wise, so I'm changing myself. Fits with the idea of making your own happiness. It means that real knowledge and happiness come from working on yourself and thinking about yourself instead of trying to change the outside world. If you believe that you are valuable and important, then happiness will come to you. As Hafiz said, "Happiness, ever since it heard your name, it has been running through the streets, trying to find you." The popular quote by Jim Rohn, "Happiness is not something you put off until the future. It is something you design for the present," says it all about making your own happiness. It means making your life full of things that make you happy right now, instead of waiting for things to happen in the future that will make you happy. He said, "The key to happiness is to set clear, defined goals that give you a sense of direction and purpose." This shows how important it is to have personal goals and a clear sense of purpose in order to be happy. Setting and working toward goals that are important to you can help you feel happy and fulfilled. Ultimately, making your own happiness requires many things, such as thinking positively, living in the present, taking charge of your life, personal growth, self-appreciation, setting goals, and having a clear sense of purpose. You are the builder of your own happiness on this journey, and you shape your life with purpose and knowledge. By following these rules, you create a strong source of happiness inside yourself that spreads to other parts of your life and makes them better. 4. Be valuable, and people will invest in you. Marcus Aurelius said, A man should not fear death, but he should fear never beginning to live. This shows how important it is to value your life and yourself. Know that you are useful in and of yourself, and that your presence in someone's life is important. Being self-aware is a key part of getting people to respect and invest in you. Seneca said, "If a man does not know to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." In our case, this means that you should know what you're worth and where you're going. When you know how much you're worth, you tell other people how they should value and invest in you. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This means that you have to be in charge of how you see yourself and how you let other people treat you. Be sure of your freedom and worth, and let people know that you are not to be taken easily. People who say, "You were born with potential, you were born with goodness and trust, you were born with ideals and dreams, you were born with greatness," tell us that everyone has worth and potential. People will naturally want to value and invest in you if you know and embrace what makes you special. He said, "Stay close to anything that makes you glad you are alive." This could mean accepting who you are and the things that make you special. Why are you expensive and worth spending in? Because you are one of a kind. Your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change, as Jim Rohn said, is also true here. To become someone who is valuable and worth engaging in, you need to grow and improve yourself. It means putting in work to become the best version of yourself. Brian Tracy said it so well, "Successful people are always looking for ways to help others. Unsuccessful people are always asking, 'What's in it for me?'" This shows how important it is to have goals and aspirations that aren't just about yourself, but also about what you can do for other people. When you focus on being a valuable person, people are more likely to put money into you. To sum up, being expensive and letting others invest in you means knowing and claiming your worth, having clear personal goals and direction, accepting your uniqueness, and always trying to grow as a person. It's about being a real person who adds value and easily gets other people to invest in you, whether that's emotionally, intellectually, or relationally. This way of doing things not only makes you feel better about yourself, but it also helps you build relationships that are stronger and more important. 5. Keep being independent. Marcus Aurelius said, "He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe." This shows how important it is to stay true to yourself and your journey, even when you're with other people. It's about finding balance and making sure that other people don't completely control your life. "If you wish to be loved, love," said Seneca. This quote fits with the thought of loving and taking care of yourself. People should treat you the way you want to be treated if you love and value yourself. It has to do with not giving up who you are to please other people. Epictetus said, "Freedom is the right to live as we wish." This is a very important idea for relationships. You can avoid becoming too dependent on or involved in someone else's life by keeping your independence and personal freedom. You should focus on your own road and journey, not just your part in someone else's story. When they say, "Don't be satisfied with stories of how things have gone with others. Unfold your own myth." It's about writing your story and living it. "I wish I could show you when you are lonely or in darkness the astonishing light of your own being," Hafez wrote in a poem. This is a lesson of how happy and fulfilled you can be when you accept your life and journey without anyone else's help. If you want to give someone the best gift possible, give yourself personal growth. I used to say, "If you take care of me, I will take care of you." Now I say, "I will take care of me for you, if you will take care of you for me." This says it all about not making someone the center of your life. It means being your best self for yourself and the people in your life. Successful people are always looking for ways to help others. Unsuccessful people are always asking, What's in it for me? This shows how important it is to have goals and dreams for yourself that go beyond your relationships. It's about helping other people through your own success and growth. In short, not putting someone else at the center of your life is about building your personality, growing as a person, and keeping your freedom and independence. You have to love and believe in yourself, set goals, and make your own way through life. This way of life not only makes you happier and more independent, but it also improves your relationships with other people by letting you show them a better, more developed version of yourself. Sixth, put your own wants first. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are upset by something outside, the pain is not from the thing itself, but from how you think about it, and you can change this at any time." This shows how important it is to value your peace and well-being and know that you have control over how you react to things outside of your control. Life, if well lived, is long enough, Seneca said. This idea fits with the idea of setting your wants in order of importance. Taking care of your own wants and living true to yourself, life is part of a well-lived life, not just existing to please other people. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This means that when it comes to setting your own priorities, you should listen to your inner voice and understand your needs instead of letting other people's views affect you. This quote, "Let the beauty of what you love be what you do," tells us to follow our interests and hobbies. This is about being happy with what you love, not just with what other people love or approve of. "I wish I could show you when you are lonely or in darkness the astonishing light of your own being," Hafez wrote. These words describe the road of self-discovery and finding joy in your life and worth, regardless of other people. Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live, which is Jim Rohn's attitude, can be used to describe any part of taking care of yourself. Putting your wants first is good for your mental and physical health, as well as your emotional health. Decide today to say no to things that are of no value to your life, Brian Tracy said. This is a great way to put your needs first. It has to do with setting limits and making decisions that are good for your health and growth. To sum up, putting your own needs first means knowing and appreciating your value, paying attention to your inner voice, discovering joy and yourself, caring for yourself as a whole, and setting limits that are in line with your values and goals. It's an important part of living a happy life that your choices and actions show that you care about your health and growth. This way of life makes you more calm and real, so you can interact with others from a place of power and self-respect. Seventh, don't be all the time. Ask yourself every moment, is this necessary? Was good advice from Marcus Aurelius. This means that when it comes to our availability, we should always ask ourselves if our presence or answer is needed at that time. This helps you make more thoughtful choices about when and how to be present. "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it," said Seneca. These words really hit home when you think about how important it is to value your time. You choose not to waste your time by not being available all the time. Instead, you use it in a way that is useful and important to you. It's important to set standards based on your own goals and ideals, as Epictetus said. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. One way to make sure your actions are in line with these goals is to be choosy about when you're available. As if what you do makes a difference, it does, is a strong reminder of how important your actions are, including how you use your time and who you're available to help. Knowing that other people value your time as well as your own can help you feel respect for yourself. You can put things in perspective by saying, "I wish I could show you when you are lonely or in darkness the astonishing light of your being." This is a figure of speech for saying that you are a light in someone's life. You make the times you are there more special and valuable by not being available all the time. This famous quote by Jim Rohn, "Time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you cannot get more time," really shows how important it is to value and manage your time. One important part of this is being careful about when you're available. Brian Tracy said, "The key to success is to focus our conscious mind on things we desire, not things we fear." If you manage your time well and don't always be available, you can focus on your wants and goals instead of doing too many things because you're afraid of missing out or making other people unhappy. In short, not being available all the time means that you value your time, set goals, recognize your worth, practice mindful present, and focus on personal growth and good time management. You'll have a more healthy life if you do this. You'll be in charge of your time and be able to give your all in the important moments. It's not about not being available. It's about being present in a way that makes your life and the lives of those around you better. Talks should be balanced. Marcus Aurelius said, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." This is useful for conversation because it helps people see things from different points of view. It makes the trade more fair because both sides can give the same amount. This is a good example of Seneca's wise words. "We are more often scared than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." The fear of not being reached out to can be worse than the real act of reaching out. When you take a step back, you give the other person a chance to show that they are interested, which can be a pleasant and helpful part of the conversation. He said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." This can be used in conversation by living out a philosophy of mutual involvement and patience instead of always reaching out or explaining yourself. One saying, "Silence is the language of God, all else is poor translation," makes the point that room and silence can be very powerful in conversation. That way, a stronger, more important relationship can grow, and both people can give in equal measure. From his point of view, your heart knows the way, which means that sometimes following your heart means stepping back and letting others take the lead, which makes for a more healthy and mutually beneficial relationship. Effective communication is 20% what you know and 80% how you feel about what you know, as Jim Rohn said, is a very important thing to keep in mind. Not only does it matter what you say and when you say it, but also how you handle the feelings and dynamics of the conversation. Become the kind of leader that people would follow voluntarily, even if you had no title or position. Words of Brian Tracy can be used in personal relationships. By not starting talks all the time, you give the other person a chance to do so, which makes the relationship more fair and respectful for both of you. To sum up, if you want to keep the communication in your relationships healthy and fair, don't always start the talk. It takes time, knowledge, and a focus on working together and being involved. This method not only makes the relationship more fair, but it also helps people grow as people and improves their speaking skills. Making an environment where both people feel respected and want to add to the relationship is important. Keep your emotions in check. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This is also true when it comes to relationships. Having a balanced and healthy mind will help you better handle your emotional connections and make sure they don't get in the way of your health or judgment. He who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary, Seneca said. This quote shows how over-investing in emotional connection, expecting problems, or thinking too much about a relationship can cause needless suffering. Keeping a logical point of view can help you keep your emotions in check. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." When it comes to emotional connection, this means that you are in charge of your feelings and don't let them govern your choices or your life. It's about how to respond to things instead of moving without thinking. This saying, "Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it," is important when talking about emotional connection. It means figuring out what's holding you back emotionally and working on a healthy self-love that doesn't depend on approval from other people. Fear is the cheapest room in the house. I would like to see you living in better conditions, said Hafiz in a poem. This reminds us to get over our fears and doubts, which can make us too attached to others. Finding strength and happiness within oneself is what it's about. Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better, as Jim Rohn said, fits this situation. Rather than hoping that stressful events were easier, you should work on getting better at handling them. To do this, you need to work on your emotional intelligence and resilience. It's important to show yourself unconditional love and acceptance before you give it to others. As Brian Tracy said, "The greatest gift that you can give to others is the gift of unconditional love and acceptance." You can avoid dangerous emotional ties in your relationships if you accept and love yourself no matter what. In conclusion, not being too emotionally connected means keeping your feelings in check, looking at them logically, learning self-control, starting a journey of self-love, and focusing on your own emotional growth. Finding a balance is important so that you can have good social relationships without relying on them too much works. When you do things this way, your interactions get better, more grown, and more satisfying. Get ready to leave. It was Marcus Aurelius who said, "Value yourself. The good that is in you comes from yourself." This is especially true when you are thinking about leaving. It's hard to leave a situation that doesn't respect your worth, but it's important to know what you're worth. Sometimes even to live is an act of courage, said Seneca. This quote really hits home when you decide to walk away. Leaving a situation or relationship that you know well takes a lot of guts, especially if you have strong emotional ties to it. It's not what happens to you that matters, but how you react to it, Epictetus said. When you walk away, you answer with self-respect and honor to something that makes you feel less important. How you respond shapes your experience and how you move forward. According to the saying, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Leaving something behind can change you. It can be a chance to learn more about yourself and grow, which can lead to a better knowledge and love of yourself. Your heart knows the way. Run in that direction, what Professor said, is a good lesson that your heart will sometimes tell you to leave situations that aren't good for you. You have to trust your own judgment and believe in yourself enough to take that step. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, said Jim Rohn. This shows how important it is to spend time with people who value and encourage you. To grow as a person and stick to your standards, you need to be willing to leave bad effects behind. When it comes to walking away, Brian Tracy said, "The ability to discipline yourself to delay gratification in the short term in order to enjoy greater rewards in the long term is the indispensable prerequisite for success." This means realizing that the pain of leaving is a necessary step toward a better future. Being ready to walk away means knowing and claiming your worth, having the guts to leave situations where people don't respect or value you, and putting your attention on your own growth and self-respect. It means following your gut, knowing your worth, and making decisions that will help you be happy and successful in the long run. Even though it's hard, this concept will help you become stronger, love yourself more, and have a more fulfilling life journey. Remember that life is about finding out who you are as well as how you fit into the world around you as we look out this chapter. Following these rules will help you make every move toward a stronger, more healthy, and more satisfying life. Remember that you are strong enough to handle any problem, make difficult decisions, and create a life that fits your core values and goals. Your path is unique, but it is lit by the knowledge of those who came before you, from the Stoics to the writers, to the philosophers, to the modern thinkers. Keep looking around, learning, and getting better. Also, remember what Marcus Aurelius said: "The best revenge is to be unlike him who did the wrong." Be your best self, not out of anger, but because you deserve the amazing life that's yet to come. Thanks for coming along with me today. I look forward to seeing where your road takes you. Never give up, always be smart, and always be learning.